What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Sunday Drive, and today we're going to be talking about keeping your car cool for summer, because summer's here and it's been really hot the last few weeks here in Southern California. Today's actually not too bad. I think it's like mid-low 70s, but like the last few Sunday drives I've been sitting in here with the windows up because I can't talk to you guys with the windows down and my AC doesn't work, so I've been sweating my freaking nuts off. And so we're going to talk about keeping your car cool in the summer heat. Just some simple, stupid simple things you can do to keep your car from basically not overheating. Now, this is not keeping you cool for summer, this is keeping the car cool. I don't care if you sweat. It's good for you. Get that sweat going. Get a nice sweat going, you feel me? Now, if you overheat, you're chilling. If your car overheats, you might have a blown head gasket, some other fun memes along with that. Now, this is more for like every car than it is for an E36, but it's still very important with an E36, and the first one is going to be like even more important with the E36, and that's just your cooling system in general. And I've hit on this a lot in other Sunday drives, keeping up with the maintenance and all that good stuff. You know, making sure you have a new water pump, new thermostat, new radiator, upper and lower hoses. If you just got the E36 or you have not rebuilt the cooling system on it yet, I would highly advise, highly recommend that you do that. It'll basically ensure that the engine and all that stuff is running cool. The last thing you want is for your car to overheat and you have a blown head gasket, and that sucks, right? So if you haven't rebuilt your cooling system, rebuild it. And I'm going to be rebuilding mine here, hopefully in the next few weeks. So if you rebuilt your cooling system in the last couple of years, you don't really need to worry about that one. As long as you got good quality parts in there, you're chilling. But a thing you should keep to maintain, and even if you don't plan on rebuilding your cooling system, maintain your coolant, exchange your coolant. And that's not really something a lot of people think about when maintaining cooling system, is the actual coolant itself. Coolant does have like an expiration date. It does break down if you use it too much. Most people think if you have coolant in there, you're fine. They don't really worry about how old the coolant is or how good condition the coolant is. And if you have a perfectly good coolant system and you put bad coolant in it, it can do nothing but damage. You're supposed to flush your coolant system with new coolant every 2 years. So if you guys haven't done that, I would highly recommend flushing in some new coolant. If you're gonna write down what coolant I recommend, if you have an E36 or a BMW, just run straight BMW Blue, baby. So maintain your cooling system. If your cooling system is maintained, but you rebuilt it like 3-4 years ago, I would definitely think about getting some new coolant in there. It's only gonna help. Now, another one is gonna be not stressing the cooling system too much. If it's like really hot outside and you're just sitting at idle with the AC blasting, that's gonna put a lot of strain on the car. And I know I can tell you guys not to run the AC when it's like stupid hot, but you guys are gonna run it anyways because it's freaking hot as shit, right? So what are you gonna do? So just something to note, AC puts a lot of stress on the cooling system. Another one's going to be keeping on top of your oil changes. Now, this is good for a lot of reasons. Aside from lubrication reasons, oil is actually one of the main components of the cooling system. So your coolant like cools the cylinder head, the valves, the cylinder walls and all that stuff, but like your connecting rods and your crankshaft, all that stuff doesn't get cooled by the cooling system. It gets cooled by the oil. Now, if you're running low on oil, let's say you have only 4 quarts in instead of 6, well, so you're 2 quarts low. Your 4 quarts of oil is doing the work that 6 quarts of oil should be, and it can't do it as well. In addition to that, it's retaining much more heat because there's less oil for it to disperse that heat. If you've ever looked at your oil pan, it's got little fins on it for cooling. So keeping the right amount of oil in your car and keeping on top of your oil changes is going to ensure that the engine stays cool the way it should. Now, the coolant temperature gauge, or the temp gauge, really only measures the coolant temperature. So if you're running low on oil, you might actually be running your motor hot without really knowing it. The temp gauge only reads the temperature of the coolant. It doesn't know like truly how hot the motor is. It just knows how hot the coolant is. So keep your oil topped off. And the last one is going to be keeping your car full of gas. Now, this is another one that not a lot of people think about, but fuel pumps do require, they have like their own little built-in cooling system, and it actually uses the gasoline that it pumps as a coolant. So as it's pumping the gas, it's cooling itself by using that gas. And when you run your car low on gas, like I got friends that only put $5 in at a time, and when it's like at the bottom of the red, then they'll put in $5 more and get it to the top of the red, you know? And I get that, you know, that's kind of, it's really bad form, but if you, I don't know what to tell you. That's really bad for your fuel pump, and it can overheat it actually and really shorten the life of it. And then you're gonna be stranded like my friend Sean did because his fuel pump died because he only puts in $5 at a time. I personally, when it gets between like half a tank and a quarter tank, I will fill it up. If I'm at like the quarter tank line, I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of gas, you know? When really, I still have a quarter tank left, but I know it's just better for the fuel pump and better for the fuel system if you run it with more gas in it. So, you wanna keep your car cool for summer, keep your fuel topped off, keep your oil topped off, and maintain your cooling system. Thank you guys so much for watching, keep it fresh, and I will see you guys later.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust.